the president, in a desperate attempt to salvage this disastrous tariff policies, and let's be clear, the damage has been done. Right now, we're just talking about to what extent the damage to the economy is going to be. This is one of those things where it's like the snake has already swallowed the rat, as it were. And we're just it's just a question of like, how long is it going to take to pass through this system? And if Donald Trump makes all sorts of tariff deals that slow things down or stop the tariffs by this weekend, then the rat still has to pass through the snake. It's just not as long of a snake, or whatever happens to a rat inside a snake will happen quicker. And if he doesn't, particularly in terms of China, then it's going to be, some people say disastrous, other people say catastrophic to the economy. The Fed warning yesterday, without saying the word stagflation, was warning of stagflation, which is inflation and job loss and lack of GDP growth. You know, this is two forces that supposedly are inverse of each other, lining up in a very, very bad way. But Donald Trump announced with Keir Starmer, and I guess they were in the Oval Office.
Well, Keir was phoning in.
Oh, was that? Oh, he was?
Yep, he was over the phone.
Oh, I didn't realize. Okay. Maybe the British ambassador was there or something.
Yep.
They have signed a pact. Now, let's be clear. Probably, if not the oldest trade partner, maybe the second oldest.
Yep, and it's the best deal we've ever done with anybody.
It's so great. The UK is now going to be able, and let's just be clear here, just so you get a sense of how much they were ripping us off. I want to keep that back up there. But Britain is the 11th biggest trading partner in the first quarter of this year. The 11th biggest. So not even top 10. The two nations have, just to give you a sense of how much we're going to finally gain on this, relatively balanced trade. U.S. sent about $80 billion worth of things like gas and airplanes and machinery and other products to Britain in 2024, and bought about $68 billion worth of cars, pharmaceuticals, and other goods. And so not necessarily, we're not getting particularly ripped off by them in Donald Trump's parlance. And there's going to be some reciprocity in terms of beef, I guess, now with us in Britain, although they will not take any type of hormone-laden beef. So it's going to be all specialty beef, at least in the context of this country. They are taking tariffs on steel and aluminum will fall from 25% to 0%. Unclear to me that we purchased that much aluminum and steel from Britain, but maybe this means that other countries will send it through Britain. I don't know how much beef we're going to sell there when they've got like places like Ireland, but who knows? Keep that up for one more second if you could. I guess we're going to get more. What's that car? The Land Rovers. They're going to allow for a little more Land Rovers to get here.
Oh, not just Land Rovers, Sam.
And Bentleys. And Rolls Royce.
Go back to Sam. You want to play this?
Here we go. Let's play this clip
of Tim talking about Rolls Royces here.
So this is the big news that's going to save us.
They, made that deal, but they You know, we've had just a very special relationship with them. Like, I won't do that deal with cars. I mean, unless somebody shows me that there's another kind of a car that's comparable to a Rolls Royce, and there aren't too many. This is a good commercial for Rolls Royce, but they're going to order a lot of cars.
Mr. President, I wonder whether you'd like to buy. I mean,
Well, the last time this happened, I ended up.
I would be happy to suggest a discount, obviously a very modest discount. We have to protect our profit margin.
I've had many of them, actually. You know, the last time that happened.
Okay, I don't give a shit about this, frankly. You should also know in terms of cars, so your Rolls Royces will be a little bit more available. Maybe, I don't know if the price is going to go down, but there's going to be a little more availability. And Range Rovers. However, there is going to be a 25% tax that's going to start, a tariff that's going to be levied on car parts starting this Saturday. So, for those of you not getting the Rolls Royces, I got some bad news for you. But here is Trump announcing, right? Is this the clip?
Yeah.
This is Trump announcing it. And supposedly, and I just want to make clear, 50% of the content of cars assembled in America is imported. So 50% of the cost of cars, of manufacturing the cars, are about to go up 25%. So I guess you could say we're going to see probably 12.5% bump in the cost of car making, just overnight. Here he is bragging about his meeting with China on Saturday. Supposedly, according to the Chinese, the U.S. begged them for a meeting.
This isn't him bragging about the meeting. This is him talking about the ports.
Okay. Well, this is going to be with the ports. But understand, this Saturday, or I should say this weekend, Besant announced that there was going to be a meeting in Switzerland with China. And the Chinese are now saying they begged us for this meeting. Now, who knows? There's a lot of posturing, I'm sure, going into that meeting. And like I say, the other day, I heard this rumor about Mother's Day being, a day when Trump was going to cave for the sake of the mothers. But here he is with his ridiculous math about trade.
Because business has slowed down, as you mentioned, we're seeing as a result, the ports here in the U.S., the traffic has really slowed, and now thousands of dock workers and truck drivers are worried about their jobs.
That means we lose less money. When I see that, that means we lose less money. Look, China.
Okay. There was some business entity, I can't remember the name of it now, that had basically, and maybe you've seen this online, a graph of the timing of everything. April 2, Liberation Day tariffs, container departures from China start slowing. It's a 20 to 40 day container ship transit time. So by early May, mid-May, container ships to U.S. ports come to a stop. And that's what we're seeing right now. It's starting right now. And by then over the course of the next 2 weeks, there's going to be 40% less containers coming into some of the biggest ports in the country. Then from that, 1 to 10 days, usually it takes by truck or transit to get to the cities. So in a normal situation, something that gets shipped around April 2, right? Whatever it is, whatever goods gets to cities about 45 days later, maybe a little bit more, 50 days later. And that takes us to mid-May, late May. And right now, we are like just on the cusp of this, and we're going to start to see empty shelves and lower sales, which means layoffs. And we're going to see that first in the trucking and then into the retail industries. And then we're going to see it go from there. Now, could this be reversed? No, this is set in stone. But if everything was to change with China this weekend and things started going back up again, you would theoretically only have about a month and a half of this process. Now, do you recover that quickly? No. But maybe by the fall, things would be okay. But that's what we're looking at now. And they're just going to keep trying to trump, as it were, trumpet this trade deal with Britain, where we had literally a, I don't know, 10, 12% deficit, maybe billions of dollars. And his whole concept of ripping off, if we have no goods coming into the country, we're not losing money. In the same way that if I don't go buy a coffee at the coffee store, I'm not losing money. Like in Donald Trump's mind, if I go buy a coffee, I'm losing money. Forget the fact that I'm getting the coffee. I'm losing money unless the coffee vendor buys a Sederista membership to, or I guess it would be a majority reporter. I mean, I don't get that expensive of a coffee. But if that person buys a majority reporter member and I buy one coffee a month, then I'm not losing money.
Yeah.
I'm winning. It's such a I don't know, like an arrested version of how this works.
Well, the problem is we call him a businessman. It's great to have a businessman in, but he's a businessman that doesn't produce anything. He's a rentier. He rents things. He's a landlord. He doesn't make things for export. So he doesn't, this is foreign to him.
I'm telling you, Ron Varno told me that this was the way to do it.
All those Chinese truck drivers moving stuff around America.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.